channel.
Biggs here, back with another Brief Origins, where we give you the rundown of characters' beginnings. It's important to remember that some characters' origins change based on who's in the creative chair at the time. With that in mind, enjoy. Mr. Terrific had lost some business, and Stagg Industries was there to swoop in and take whatever experiments were left behind. The only reason his business had failed was, or his businesses, since there was more than one, had failed was because he was off defending the multiverse during the Dark Knight Metal event. Mr. Stagg began tampering with a machine he knew nothing about or the repercussions of it. Once he activated this machine, Mr. Terrific's T-Spheres sent him an alert that one of his machines was being used. Mr. Terrific went to investigate to discover Mr. Stagg, his daughter, and his goon were in the middle of testing it out. Mr. Stagg managed to open a portal to another dimension, but had no clue how to turn the portal off. It was then that Mr. Terrific decides to call for backup in the shape of a giant egg form, and it was Plastic Man. In the middle of the portal door is Metamorpho, strapped in some sort of chains being used to prevent anything coming in or out of the portal. But absorbing that much radiation from the portal caused his body to form into a ninth metal, and his mind went into madness. Metamorpho broke out of his chains, and in that process caused the portal to suck in a few people. As Mr. Terrific, Plastic Man, and Metamorpho got sucked in, Mr. Terrific thought on his feet and requested Plastic Man protect them by having them take a trip inside his mouth. Inside of Plastic Man's mouth, the three of them have a chat once Metamorpho calms his nerves. Metamorpho explains he went crazy from the portal and was instructed by Mr. Stagg to enter the portal. They finally land, but didn't expect to land on what they did, which was a Marvel version of Galactus in corpse form. Plastic Man discovers this as he extends his neck sky up and bird's eye view. As they find this out, also receives a stress signal and decides to follow the strike signal since it was calling for help. Once they actually go out and start pursuing that strike signal, they encounter giant-sized spiders with sharp teeth for mouths. At first, they fight them off until suddenly the spiders are calm thanks to someone helping them with that. And it happened to be this random person they found during their journey for the stress signal, which they thought it was this person. Turns out it wasn't. And that was the girl, or the woman by the name, I believe young woman by the name Phantom Girl. Now, she obviously goes by another name, but this is what they originally will call her later in the comics. So yes, Phantom Girl it is. So she apparently explains that she was stuck in the dark dimension because there was an accident that occurred where her parents and her were on a trip, and then something goes wrong where there's a black hole. And then to try to help her escape, her father gives her an escape pod to escape to. Turns out that he made a calculated error. The parents manage to escape, but she doesn't, and she winds up inside the dark dimension or the dark multiverse, and then crash lands here where she meets these giant spiders, calms their nerves by using her intangible ability. And now here's the kicker. From her world, she is intangible, and she was hoping that she can turn in and out of her intangible form, but unfortunately it turns out she can't turn back to solid. Now she's stuck in her phase form in this dark dimensional planet with these spiders for several years, not knowing how long she has been there, until this crew of Metamorpho, Plastic Man, and Mr. Terrific arrived to see her. So she decides to join the team to help them with what they were looking for. They investigate the signal's location and discover a digital recording of Tom Strong, a superhero from the 90s. The recording is a message stating simply he's no longer with them, if they got this message and they were the last hope. Mr. Terrific, trying to make sense of all this, decides to take the antenna where the message was broadcast in. And once Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, and Plastic Man try together to yank it out, once off, found themselves in the middle of some sort of explosion, and that also include Phantom Girl, and that had awoken the thing they were inside of. They would battle giant Galactus looking zombie while making their way back to the portal.
they would get out and in the process of closing the portal, cut the fingers off this giant thing before it could enter their world at least. Mr. Terrific knew he had to study this and didn't concern himself too much with the rest of the gang and their ordeal, as he thought this was priority. He attempts to leave, but as he makes his way to the sky a mile out with his ship, he begins feeling some sort of electrical shock course through his body, about to make him explode. He quickly realizes this and heads back to the team, knowing now something occurred when they were struck with the burst of energy from the other dimension, causing them to be stuck together. And for a time, till they figured this out, they formed the team, the Terrifics.
And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy our content, you know what you guys can do. You can share, you can like, or you can subscribe to our channel. When you guys subscribe to our channel, you know what you do. You guys are building our empire and allowing us to provide you guys with even much more greater content for you guys to enjoy.